Very good evening, friends. Meeting
Good
again.
evening, sir.
Good evening. Meeting again in the session of Materia Medica. And yesterday we have discussed part of opium and few cases of opium. Today also, the remaining part of the opium we have to learn from Allen's notes. But before going again into the Allen's notes, I want to share one more case which I have treated at ICU level. There was a multi-speciality hospital and I was called by the patient's relatives and as well as the physician over there, the neurologist as well as physician. They were in close contact, close relatives of the doctors, and the patient was not responding. For that purpose, they called me. It was a way back, and I was there in the ICU. And I just asked what has happened. Patient was in a absolutely comatose state. And then patient's son and daughter-in-law, both of them were there, and they told the history. 5 days back, we had some disputes in our home, and father were there. We were three brothers, and some disputes about some property matter was going on. And all of a sudden, one of a brother, my brother, all of a sudden he arrogantly said something to my father, and he was absolutely frightened thereafter because this has never happened in his lifetime that son will react in such a manner. And he becomes so frightened, and all of a sudden he fall down. We felt that it might be just a vertigo, which is because of stress. But we have taken him directly to our hospital. It is our close relatives whose hospital is there, and he is in ICU. And he was not having any reaction. Doctor said that, neurologist said that there is no reaction, it is paralysis. But his scan was done, scan was shot, not showing anything. But there was zero reaction. Since 5 days, he has not opened the eyes. Since 5 days, he has not taken anything by mouth. He is on continuously on IV fluids. He has not passed the stools. And there is absolutely no reactions. And everyone is waiting that what is happening. Even doctors told us today that he's not responding to anything. Everything was going on. The line of treatment, the standard line of treatment was going on, considering that it might be a sudden shock led to the paralysis, and even it might be a brain edema, etc. And all drugs which they used to use, they are going on, and nothing was working. And when I observed the patient, he was in absolutely deep coma. He never reacted to any stimulus, even though I have pinched his ear, pinna, and lobule, and nothing, zero reaction. I put a torch in his eyes by opening it the hands, and pupils were contracted, not reacting. They were absolutely contracted, no reaction was there. They were as if fixed. Only the breathing was going on, and breathing was very deep. It was stertorous, as if a stertorous, something is obstructed over there, and it is of a big sound. And as if a person who used to snore, it looks like snoring. A big deep sound was there. So asked regarding urine stool, he was passing the urine, but catheter was put over there, and he has not passed the stools for 5 days. Abdomen, it was not at all distended because nothing was gone by mouth. Everything is just by IV fluids. And RT was put over there to take out the fluids. But he was not responding. It is the benign state of body and mind and causes elements from sudden fright. Whenever the things goes because of sudden fright and patient enters into the brain in a comatose state and absolutely zero reaction, then one might think of opium. It is very, very important remedy to stimulate the vitality of the patient, and we have to bring him out. Then I have asked, is there any problem in last 5 days? He said that on third day he had one convulsion, and doctor had one anticonvulsant. Thereafter he never had, but there is no response. So opium was the drug of choice. I said that directly a drop of opium, we will put it in his mouth, and I brought the opium 1 m, directly a one drop, put in his mouth, and I said that just observe him. After 1 hour, we'll repeat one more dose, and I will visit in the evening. And after 3 hours, there was a call from hospital that patient is responding. Patient is showing some movement. He has opened eyes, again closed. He is blinking his eyes, and he is moving his hands, and he is moving his legs. And that was a very good sign. Then I said that just go on observing, nothing, don't repeat medicine, just wait and watch. And don't add any other medicine, don't give any sedative, just observe him. And again there was a call that he has passed stools, very, very offensive, they are dark colored, and it was very, very, very strong smelling, and he has passed it a lot. Again, a very good sign that patient's whole body is responding now. It is a very good sign. He was getting awake little bit. When I visited in the evening, he was coming out of sopor state. He was showing response to everything. So it was a good thing. I have never repeated the remedy. I visited next day morning. He slept whole night again, and in the morning he was awakened and completely, and he was absolutely fresh. When I met him, he asked me that how I am here and how do you are here. See, within 24 hours, there was a fantastic response given by opium. Opium is such a best remedy in such types of cases. So we have to understand that specific state of the person when we prescribe the remedy. Opium state, if you understand, you will use the opium many times in your practice. We have finished up to the mental symptoms. Let us go with the sleep symptoms on page number 213. Sleep. How is the sleep? Sleep is heavy. Sleep is stupid, as if comatose. Which stertorous breathing, given in bold, and that has meaning. It is so strong that you can listen that sound. The face is red, eyes are half closed, bloodshot. There is congestion of the brain and eyes. Skin covered with hot sweat. The sweating is marked. Sleep after the convulsions. This is one more thing. Patient goes into the sleep after the convulsions. Sleepy but cannot sleep. This is one feature very close to the belladonna, chamomilla. That has been produced. This symptom is there whenever a person consumes opium. He might feel sleepy, but he never gets into the sleep. Next day, it used to happen more commonly. Sleeplessness with acuteness of hearing. Slightest sound disturb him, because of which he cannot sleep. Even clock striking or cocks crowing at the great distance keep her away. So sound which is at the long distance going on, that also affects, so sensitive regarding the noise. Loss of breath on falling asleep. Breathlessness on falling asleep. Grindalia. Grindalia, it is cough, breathlessness. Asthma, aggravated by lying down. Lachesis, there is a orthopnea. Lachesis is also get aggravated by lying on back or lying on left side. Bed feels so hot, she cannot lie on it. The sweating is there, the skin is hot, and that's why they feel it is too hot and they cannot lie in one position. Bed feels too hard is the arnica, pyrogen, bryonia. These are the remedies for when bed feels too hard. Moves often in search of cool place. They want cool place. Many times these persons require the cool, something cold they puts on the body and they feels better by it. They want that they must be uncovered. They never want the covering of the body. Digestive organs are inactive. Peristaltic motion is reversed or paralysis. Bowel seems closed. So there is paralytic ileus like symptoms. The bowel movements, they are not happening properly. Digestive organs are inactive. So that this paralysis is not general paralysis everywhere, even in abdomen, you get such types of symptoms. That's why the constipation is there. And constipation of the children, constipation of corpulent. Corpulent means which are who are good in bodybuilding. Good-natured woman, corpulent good-natured woman like graphitis. Constipation from inaction or paresis, no desire to pass the stool. So obstinate constipation, no desire to pass the stools. Constipation from lead poisoning. It is very close to the plumbum. Plumbum, there are the hard ball-like stools. Stools are hard, round, black balls. See here, plumbum is mentioned, chelidonium, plumbum, thuja, where you get similar type of stools. Constipation with feces protrude, so feces comes out and recedes back. It is like a silicia, like a thuja. In silicia and thuja, they want to has to remove mechanically. The stools are involuntary, especially after fright. That is another reaction. If patient goes into the coma or patient either passes involuntary stools, like gelsemia. This is because of reaction, fright reaction. Stools are black and offensive. Offensiveness is very marked. If the patient is constipated for 4 or 5 days and he passed the stools, they are very offensive. Stools, black and offensive from paralysis of sphincter. So involuntary passage of stools is from paralysis of the sphincter. Urine is retained with bladder full. Retention postpartum or from excessive use of tobacco. Postpartum retention of urine. This is one remedy one should not forget. Or from excessive use of tobacco. Urine in nursing children after passion of nurse. Urine in fever or acute illnesses retained. Urine is retained due to the paralysis of bladder or sphincter. In stramonium, we have suppression. While in opium, the secretion is not diminished. The bladder is full, but fullness is unrecognized because of painlessness, because of paralysis. So stramonium, there is a decreased secretion of urine. But in opium, this is not at fault. Kidney is not at fault. The fault lies in the bladder. It is full, but patient doesn't get desire. It is because of paralytic bowel. And that's why not having a feeling of passing the urine. That is very typical with the opium. Opium renders the intestine so sluggish that the most active purgatives lose their power. What is saying? Opium renders the intestine sluggish. Opium movement, the sluggishness is more marked. Intestine is so sluggish. So for even you give the purgatives, they are not working. The paralytic, it is look like paralytic ileus. Persistent diarrhea in those treated with large doses of the drugs. So if patient has a constipation and they have given the purgatives and it has been used and patient is not passing stool, and when it starts passing, there is a long-standing diarrhea which persists because of the action of. So this is what said by Lippe. These are nothing but the experience of those stalwarts. So first sentence was related, was said by Herring. This sentence was said by Lippe. And both of them are big practitioners. So these hints one should not forget in practice. Sudden retrocession of acute exanthema results in paralysis of brain and convulsions. Gincum metallicum. Yes, sudden rash is suppressed and patient enters into the brain troubles. Gincum, first remedy. But if it is acute, very acute, think of opium also. if the convulsion is there, or if the convulsion is associated with big coma, then this remedy is a wonderful remedy to be considered in such types of cases other than Jingam. If it is pace is too acute, then opium. If it is long standing, then it might be a Jingam. So this is what we have to consider. Cuprum is third remedy, but cuprum, it more enters into the epileptic spasms. Marasmus. Marasmus, child with wrinkled skin. So old looking skin is there. Looks like a little dried up of old man, like abrotanum. So this is close to the abrotanum regarding the skin, regarding the marasmus. So many remedies, it is a combination of many remedies you can get in opium. So patient, this, if you read the Alensky notes and all those things, you will find many states of opium. And those states are separate states. You are not going to get the whole in one patient. Either you get the sopor state, the sleepiness, the comatose state, either you get the brain troubles, the epilepsy, or either you get the paralytic ileus like features. There are varieties of presentations which you can get in opium states, and all those states the Allen has mentioned over there. Relationship, and it antidotes the poisonous doses for the poisonous doses. For purpose of antidoting opium action, strong coffee, the Naxomica, Kali permanganatum, and constant motion. These are the things with which you can go ahead and antidote the action of opium. That is one thing which he has mentioned over there. So it is a very important feature which he has mentioned over there. Then what he says, one more thing, that when symptoms correspond, the potencies may antidote bad effects of opium drugging. If the patient has dependent on opium, a material opium, you give the opium in potentized form, it removes the addiction for the opium. That is one thing which is mentioned by Allen. Then how the remedy is closely related with the APs for the brain troubles, the belladonna, hyoscyamus, stramonium, ginkgum, all related with the brain troubles, where meningitis, sometimes encephalitis, sometimes hydrocephalus, all those features somehow are closely associated with this five remedy. In relationship, in Gibson-Miller, you never get any complementary for the opium. Action is 1 to 7 days. But the day before yesterday, I told you one book, Drug Relationship by Nair, and some part of the book is written by Dr. Nambian. He has mentioned 5 remedies as a complementary to the opium. One is alumina, second is baratacap, third is bryonia, the fourth is phosphorus, and last is plumbum. And these are the remedies which came into his remedy relationship, which is the experience of those stalwarts, and because of which they have added it. This is the work one should do and confirm that you utilize it in your practice. And if you are strong or you are confirmed, just make 1 star when you confirm it. If you make a habit, then you'll get much more remedy relationships in future. So this is one important thing which I want to highlight and regarding it. Then aggravation. Aggravation during and after sleep, like lachesis, like apis mellifica. Aggravation while perspiring, aggravation from warmth, aggravation from stimulants. These are general modalities. Amelioration from cold and constant walking. So whenever patient is in cold, they feel better. Whenever they are in constant motion, they feels better. And that's why that is one thing which antidotes the opium action. When you put them in motion. So this is what the Allen has said regarding the opium. A wonderful remedy in our practice, specifically the practice which is done at the ICU level. More commonly, you can think about such remedies and which has a capacity to bring the patient, the unconscious patient, in the consciousness. So, wonderful stimulant in order to get the good action or reaction of the rest of the remedies, the opium is needed sometime in the benumb state of mind and body. So that's all for today. We'll meet again tomorrow with new remedy and we'll continue with our this motto of learning the Materia Medica. So thank you being there and attending the session. I'm happy that Prachi madam is there today. So good evening.
Sir, don't call me ma'am, just call me
You are
Prachi.
you are a teacher, Prachi. Even though you are my
Oh,
student, but you are teacher. I'm happy
thank you.
regarding that.
Yes.
So thank you, and we'll meet again tomorrow at the same time. Good
Thank you very
night.
much, sir.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.